Hello, everybody. Welcome back to SketchCraft Live. I'm Rob Duenas, and joining me tonight is Brandon Let Heavy James. Brandon, say hi.
Hello.
All right, everybody. So, give me 1 second here. Sorry about that. Anyhow, so let me put Brandon's little ID up. We're getting back to normal here at SketchCraft. It's been a wild 2 weeks. Really, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So basically, last week, back to the day, I took off to go to the amazing Las Vegas Con with Senior Mega Potato here, and the week prior to that, I was in my room going nuts, like just prepping for con and everything else. If you
When
don't,
we when we prep for con, we prep for con like we're going to war. We don't just, I'm gonna take some prints and shit. I'd say
me,
80% you, 20% me
yeah,
is an in like your mind. I imagine before a con is like one of those I don't know the name of the artist where those mazes go into mazes where the stairwell goes upward and downward and inward and roundward and you don't know where up is down and right and wrong, but it still makes a pretty picture. That's what I imagine the inside of your brain is like before a con.
why? Tell people why you think that, because I
Because you don't because you plan you have a almost like a genie like ball in front of you. You plan because you know what's going to happen. You kind of predict the things you're going to have to sketch, things you have to draw, the execution, the everything. You plan the floor plan, our setup, our booth setup, our tablecloth. I mean, you run a tight ship and you want to make sure everything goes according to plan, and it does, and it did. And you just have goals and you set it all before us. I mean, it's like a game plan, like a football game plan. You just these are the plays we're going to run and do it right or get the fuck off the team.
yeah, and that's how it went, really. So I'd say overall the con was a big success, but for no easy reasons. I mean, I'll be honest, folks. If I just took whatever I had lying around my room and showed up, I don't think we would have done much of anything. It's cons, conventions, Artist Alley. If you're getting a table in the exhibitor booth, I've done both. I bought exhibitors tables. I'm in Artist Alley now. Sometimes I go with the exhibitor side depending upon the show. Um, but I will say that there is an element of luck, or what's the word I'm thinking of? There is a randomness. There is an element to that to every convention. For all
Right.
you know, no one promoted it. For all you know, some giant thing happened in the economy. No one had any money. Like the last con we had was like right after the holiday season.
Hmm.
But it wasn't right after where everyone still had money. It was like probably right after people spent all the money they had from the holiday season.
Right.
Right? So like the amazing Phoenix Con was too far away from Christmas for it to be effective. Financially.
Amazing Arizona con.
Sorry, amazing Arizona
I
Con.
don't
Look,
want
it's
people to
at the
think it's
Phoenix Convention Center, so I
yeah,
get
but
all
I don't
kind
want people to mix them up. It happens.
All right,
I
so the
make people
amazing
mix.
Arizona Con. Um, and so that was a tough turnout for people. People showed up, but people weren't spending money, and that
Right.
people go, well, is it because my art sucks? I'm like, well, maybe, but I mean, really, it has a lot to do with the economy. I think sometimes we take things a little too personal when things do or don't sell. Also, likewise, I think there's an element of artists thinking that, well, I'll just go there and, because all my friends think I'm great and, I have 20,000 followers that, I'm going to do well. And I mean, Brandon, I've been there. I've sat next to some pretty famous artists who literally made $5 once. I
Right.
remember sitting right next to, even at Play at San Diego Comic Con, and then a guy made $5, and I'm like, I'll just sell $10 sketches, and I made like 2 grand, and the guy was like, I mean, I can't draw for 2 grand. They'll resell my art. I'm like, well, now you're doing nothing. Like, no
Right.
offense. Like, maybe your strategy here, maybe you're not as kind of a big a deal. So everyone's experience at con, everyone's the kind of fans they interact with are really personalized to you.
Hmm.
Case in point, and this is all we're going to talk about right now. Is just wrap up about Amazing Phoenix Con. I don't have an itinerary for this. I'm just kind of going off a bunch of things in my head. But like Brandon has a certain fan base prior to Sketchcraft. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm very appreciative of, them. They're all nice people. They hang out, but they spend money and they hang out, which is nice. But there is a very
I
college
get I
frat
get
boy.
I get the oddest, weirdest, randomest guy sketches wanted. It's a very it's not your typical like, oh, I want a big busty girl or a big sexy guy kind of commissions. They're more of, I want Darth Vader eating a bowl of ice cream at a Jar Jar Binks skull. Some weird stuff that is just fan fiction friendly. And I appreciate everyone who's ever bought art from me, but
Yeah, we've all prefaced, but just be honest, okay?
I do get the weirdest
Yeah, well, and you've
sketches.
entertained it for so long, and there are also people that clown around with you, kind of joke on you, and you don't see that with me, right?
Correct.
Right, and so I get really annoyed when the conversation is, I don't mind them razzing me. Oh, Rob, I see you never sleep. Ha ha ha. You know what I mean? Ha, Rob's hair's thinning. Ha ha ha. Rob's Charlie Brown. That's an actual quote from a pro artist. Because I don't have fucking black fingernails and tattoos and fucking, you know,
You're
Warcraft
quite
armor.
vanilla.
I don't have Warcraft armor protruding from my face. So, like, I get called things. And it's like, it's whatever. Everyone's having a good time. I've never had an artist actually harass me. I've had vendors harass me at previous cons. But Brandon's fans, I'm eliminating that feeling that Brandon brings to the table of just utter chaos, and this time it's less this time than it has been in the past.
Right.
But like my day, here's how it went. So I get there, I leave here Thursday around 4, get there around 10. I bought a room the night before, so I'm staying there. I decided this con, since Brandon's going to be at the table and I can trust Brandon with De Niro's, right? De Niro's.
Hmm.
It's not just an actor. So that when we do commissions, I'm going to go up to the room and work on those, and then I'll come down and spend 4 or 5 hours on the floor and then go back up and work on them.
Right.
Because the last con, I did all my painting and all my sketch work on the floor, and it's very difficult to do that without feeling like maybe some artist that you don't know is going to steal all your supplies. Carrying supplies in the Arizona heat was no fun, back and forth every day, let alone in Vegas heat,
Right.
like, and I have like a setup. So that was the plan. Brandon got there super late, but I made certain that I did not go to
Super late the
you.
night
Yeah, you
before.
got there 4 a.m.
Right. Not
Friday
at the
morning,
con late, but
but I
after
was
that.
up working at 4 a.m. So I
Right.
didn't go to sleep until 5:30 a.m. Figuring maybe you didn't go to sleep right away.
No,
Somewhere
I
between
didn't.
somewhere between 5:30 and 6 a.m. That's when I went to bed.
Right. I think same with me around
Now,
5:30.
yeah, so now the convention on Friday didn't start till 3 p.m. So we met up
Right.
around noon, got there around 12:30, started setting everything up, and then, which was funny, right? So we get to the convention. First, I've been to this convention before, the Las Vegas Convention Center. Last time I was there was 2007 for a show called Magic, which at the time was a big clothing con that they did in the clothing industry twice a year. Now they do it twice a year at a hotel lobby somewhere. It's dramatically shrunk if you want to see what happened to the clothing industry. Like that whole convention center, Brandon, was all Magic.
Oh wow.
Every hall.
That's a huge convention center. I've never
Okay.
seen a convention center that big.
Yeah. Now it's like the size of Phoenix Con, Amazing Arizona Con, sorry, Amazing Arizona Con, at a hotel. Like I'd say actually now Magic is like what Amazing Las Vegas Con was last year when it was in South Point.
Hmm.
Last year, folks, it was in a hotel day. You go downstairs. That's what Magic is now. So I was there several years ago for that, and I knew the hotel I was staying at because I'd been there before. But I was used to walking from the hotel to the first access point, which is South Hall and the Las Vegas Con. We had to walk to the North Hall, which is significantly further. Now, not that big a deal in the grand scheme of walking. I don't give a shit.
Hmm.
But in what had to be the hottest temperatures they say on record for the month of June in like the last 50 years, that was a little brutal for Brandon, right?
Seeing as how I was pushing a giant bucket filled with prints, chairs,
Yeah.
and banners, Rob was holding on to his coffee and a sketchbook, I believe.
Very similar cup that you see here.
So I definitely before the con, after we set up, I had to go back to my hotel room and shower
Yeah, well,
before
yeah.
going to the con.
So we had some downtime. We got there, we got it set up. The setup of the booth went fairly well. None of us knew how to construct these wired cubes I got. The plan was to construct the wired cubes here before I went. You knew that was my plan. Because when I
Right.
said when we get there, I don't want a clusterfuck, and you were like, oh, it won't be a big deal. And it was exactly a clusterfuck.
Maybe took like 20 extra minutes.
Yeah, but it looked really stupid. Like if you were,
We looked horrible. We
if you,
looked like a man with no hands trying to play a guitar.
it's like
That's
all.
how.
Remember Men in Black, the first movie, when Will
Uh-huh.
Smith is sitting at a table and they all have to figure out how to like fuck around with this paper, and it's like a test of motor
Right.
skills and logic reasoning. We all would have failed.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
If you were a security guard staring at that, you would have had a pretty good time for about
And
20
we're
minutes.
all three of us. Well, I don't know about Krista, but all three of us are relatively very smart people, and we just look very stupid. We just we were just we look dumb.
Right, so we're looking stupid. We got it figured out. Everything's set up. It's a relatively easy booth. If you haven't seen the pictures, let me grab. Let me go right here. I can show everybody the photo. You'll notice there's a little bit of the in the new YouTube artwork for the main page, which is still a work in progress. That's not complete. Somewhere between now and next year, I'll have a much better version of that. Let me just open up the Facebook page. Do a little self promotion here, and let's go right to desktop here. So here's the Facebook page. So you can see here is Brandon and I at the booth. So these are two tables. We got two tables this year.
Which was amazing to have. Like,
Yeah, I wouldn't do it for amazing Arizona Con due
no.
to last year's turnout. You know what I mean? Like I don't know about that. But for this, it was perfect, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, so these are sublimated table banners that I made in secret. I never showed this stuff off. And Brandon, you saw the work in progress from the
Oh yeah.
beginning. So tell a little bit about the table banners, like the work, like how it evolved from.
Well, at first it was a lot of different watercolor pieces on there and different
Well, at first it was a
maneuvering.
solid red color. I was just going to do
Right.
this red.
Oh yeah, yeah. The red with just sketchcraft, and we both kind of were just like, yeah, that doesn't stand out enough, and that's not. I mean, just seeing the name sketchcraft doesn't really do much. But you did have different characters on there. At first, I think it was one tablecloth, or was it always planned to be two? I remember
No, I
we
always plan to
started
be
with
two, but I'm only going to work on one at a time.
right,
Right.
and you had these lines like the line art behind the watercolor guys, and there was black, and then you kind of went through different variations of color changes and
Ah.
burns,
So what
and
Brandon is saying is here you see these saucy character art.
mhm,
Initially, all the white space in between was line art
right,
versus these splatters, but it became muddled,
yeah,
is the
it
word.
was two, yeah,
So what
I
I
think it was two.
did was I moved it. You can't see it here, but on the tabletop, the line art is there on the table. So when you look down, you see line art.
Right,
So if anything got moved, like if the print books got moved or anything got shuffled around, you're still seeing a piece of art. See, for me, the goal with the sublimated banner was I don't see this back here. These are all fine artists back here, okay? I don't want this. I don't want a wall of prints behind me, okay?
right,
I've Brandon, I have always been against the. You met me in 2007
right,
at Wizard World in LA, right?
hmm
Have I ever had the wall of prints?
never.
And have I always been against the wall of prints?
Right. Me
Right.
too. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's one of the, if anything, that's probably one of the longest things we've agreed upon.
I
I
just
don't know.
always found that there's something it's almost like I'm in your face. I can't draw a person in. I have to be like,
Right.
here's fucking everything, motherfucker. You know, like,
Right. And people have little. People even have walls of prints with little cutouts, and they sit in them like a convenience store
yeah, that's
at
what
the
this
very
guy back
middle.
here is. See, he built a little hovel right around there. And I know why I do it. Well, everyone has to see all this stuff. And I'm going to tell you, folks, like, I grew up, again, going to San Diego Con in 1992, San Diego Convention. Um, this thing right here, I'll tell you how this all happened, okay? Because it didn't exist in 92. Artist Alley in 1992 was a place that they had corporate booths. DC had a corporate booth, Marvel had a corporate booth. When I say they were corporate, I mean they were corporate. There were just tables with guys in suits, and they were all old. And what they would do is say between 3 and 1, this artist will be signing here. And the artist would come up, they would sign stuff, and they would probably be shooed away. And what they had, it was this place called Artist Alley, where then those same artists could go and sit at their own table all day long if they wanted to, because they generally had deadlines. And they could
Hmm.
work on their stuff there, sell some stuff, or they wouldn't go there, they'd just go up to the hotel room. So what I would do is rather than stand in line, and wait in this long line in this corporate halls of San Diego Comic Con, I'd go to Artist Alley, which is way off in the back, and hope to find someone there. What generally happened was artists have, again, they have deadlines or they're out partying because they're on vacation. They don't want to draw all weekend, right? Those booths would be empty. And so people would just sit down and start selling things. So then Comic Con, within a couple years, DC actually built the big booth. You know the one you see now that has like the banners hanging down? That
Hmm.
actually started in 1993. I remember the first that because the year before it wasn't that way. Um, and so they started having this like inner circle where artists would come around and they'd be like when the Death and Return of Superman happened, they had all the guys there in a circle and you'd get all your shit signed. And so Comic Con started opening up the Artist Alley to people who could actually get on a waiting list to get in. So you could be in Artist Alley and people could be sitting in those chairs and not just have empty seats everywhere, right?
Right.
That by the time I go to the army, now that's 93, 94. I go into the army around 1998. Okay. I come back around 2001, like right before 9/11. I got out like right before. I go to con, and now Artist Alley is all independent artists. They're all just guys that I've been following on the internet. Guys from Lead Heavy, like Scotty Young, Mark
Hmm.
Brooks, before they were anybody, bro. You know what I mean? Like they're all
Right.
there. Um, Francis Tsai, I never knew how to pronounce his last name. So they're all there in Artist Alley, and you could purchase those tables. And if you couldn't purchase it because you'd be on a waiting list. I tried to get on it, couldn't manage to get a small press table for $400 in 2003, and my sorry, $600 in 2003. And the guy who was going halvesies with me bowed out, and I couldn't afford the full 600. So I've been on a blacklist with San Diego Comic Con ever since. I've never been able to get a booth ever since because this fucker didn't pay his fucking half, right? Anyhow, so these guys are getting in there, and again, they're producing original art or they're producing covers that they're doing and doing commissions, right? Up until around
Right.
2004, 2005, when to get noticed, right? So you're an independent artist, right? And you're across the way from fucking Greg Land, to make an example, right? Or,
Right.
who's a big artist right now? Greg Capullo, whatever. Greg Capullo
Yeah.
wouldn't be out there all fucking day and night. You know what I mean? But
No.
let's say at the time, like, oh God, like a Brandon Peterson or someone like that at the time, we were just kind of coming up, but they were pro, right? And Brandon Peterson now is competing with that indie guy who's selling whatever the fuck they want to make, and Brandon Peterson's just been making, or Jim Chung or whoever the fuck at the time is making their actual art, right?
Hmm.
So they started putting the prints on the outsides. The only guys who ever did that in 92, 93 were these weirdo caricature artists or the weirdo guys. There'd always be like one or two weirdo guys with a booth full of prints. And everyone would be
Right.
like, that guy's fucking weird. I'm not going to that table. Like that's how it was. Like, I don't know about that. They're not actually selling books or selling weird art. And so in that competition for being noticed, every year I notice it become this bigger thing with if they get these table these right here, and then they get the tall boy where these were like 200 inches tall. You seen those ones that go up like
Yeah.
12 feet, and then they started doing them where they were on reverses. I remember the first time that happened was like 2006, 2005. No, 2006, the first time I went to a con. And they started putting them on the reverse, and artists were like, "You can't fucking, you're now your art's showing in my space I'm paying for, you know."
Right.
And so what it's come into now is now everyone goes, "Oh, Artist Alley is filled with fucking unlicensed prints." It's like, no, it's filled with fucking fan art as it has been since the late '90s. But there used to be rules about displaying this shit, And I think, you know, like yeah, I have some prints here on these little cages, but these cages are modular. If they said no prints hanging out, just a booth banner and a tablecloth, right? These can come right down. You know what I mean? And they're see through, so you can still see other people's stuff. I'm not blocking this entire fucking area. You know?
Right.
So Artist Alley, instead of being a place to promote and network and maybe develop a local following or meet new people, get some business cards, sell some art, it's become this really big hustle where an artist now every fucking month it's like, oh Rob, how are you going to this con? Are you going to that con? Are you going to this con? I don't. How are you doing that? How are you flying around? And they're like, well, I fucking sell a lot of prints and books and no. And I'm like, I don't want that. I don't want
Right.
to do that. If I wanted to be a DJ, I would have just been a DJ. Like I would have fucking turntables and travel the world. Like I don't want to be on the road drawing at a million conventions, with TSA security and shitty hotels and the worst food ever. I have a very strict diet. So this was my compromise to the solution.
Right.
I have not invested in booth materials other than a self-promotional banner this entire time, right? So I wanted the tablecloths here to be able to show off what I do, but be underneath everybody,
Right.
right? Be underneath. And the further away you get, what are you going to notice? Look how big
Right.
this character is compared to that tiny little print. Do you see how that works? Guys,
Mm-hmm.
I made a living in t-shirts. Now, when I say t-shirts, I don't mean the shit you get on fucking printtees.com or 24-hour jerk off designed by humans. I'm talking about real licensed bullshit tees, right? The real fucking non-exciting shit, okay, that you see at Target and Walmart. Okay, I nowadays you go on the internet, you can find amazing Skeletor fucking tour date shirts, right? Those are not licensed. Those are
Yeah.
unlicensed t-shirts. You're buying them all the time. Okay? And how do you get noticed at Walmart do you ever see a promotion for a T-shirt?
No.
You really don't. It may be like, oh, Marvel or comic book tees, like in an ad somewhere, but really it's just this wall or some hangers when you walk into the store. How do you get seen?
Right.
So I've had to spend years thinking about how do I get seen on a wall of stuff. Now, Brent, I think you've seen some of my comic book covers before in the wild, right?
Mm-hmm.
They tend to stand out a little bit.
Oh yeah.
I think so, right? Like when you go on the thing, and in the section I'm at, you tend to notice them, and that comes down to composition. It comes down to character sizing, all sorts of fucking things. So this was all intentional. This was all a colossal fucking pain in my ass because right about now I still have power prints to wrap up. You know what I mean? And I'm like,
Right.
am I even getting started on that? Like I got a fucking million of these fucking things. It's June. And we're doing this con. So I called you like right before con, and I'm like, I don't know if we should fucking do this. And I know you're like, oh, Rob's flip flopping again, but I'm like, no, you don't know what's in front of me because the thing that you didn't experience this past amazing Arizona con was how much shit I can actually sell.
Right.
Like it was a shitty con for everybody, so I sold some prints, but it wasn't that big a deal, right? You're kind of sitting there, no, 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 dum, right? And normally when you're selling your own prints, you mostly just do commissions. You just sell a couple prints.
Right.
You've never had fucking, okay, I want this and three of that and three of this and three of that and four of that. How do your fingers look? Tell everyone what it's like to have to pull prints out of plastic baggies for eight
So
hours a day for 3 days. You tell.
I pulled out so many prints that the inside of my thumbs were it's like if not the ends of your thumbnails, but if you go back to where your fingernails just about end and the rest of your thumb begins, the insides of those were completely raw from flipping through prints, like raw. It's pink. They
And you
weren't
work
bloody,
for
but
a
they were
living.
raw.
Tell people you lift shit. You work with
Yeah,
your
I
hands.
do. Yeah, I work with my hands every day, and it tore through my skin. Like just by Sunday, I'm looking at my thumbs like, why are they hurting so bad? And it's just raw from flipping through all those damn prints. I was slinging them like crazy. I mean, you you got back to the table I think Sunday around I don't know 11, 12, and I'm like, help me. Like I was just like, I'm sitting there. What do you want? What print you want? What number? Call your number. What do you number? I felt like an auctioneer for a moment.
And to be
So
fair, I'm waiting for the day when all prints are banned, which
right.
will happen and then promptly go away. I'm predicting that now. It'll happen, and then within a year or two, it will go away. Because I've already said, I've said a million times the story. I saw it happen in the early 90s with Star Wars lightsabers, where everyone was selling these replica lightsabers until they finally signed an official licensing deal with this company called Icons, and they went around con giving cease and desist to everyone. They had all these rules, no unlicensed lightsabers anywhere, and they just found a way around. They called it laser swords. Like they'll find a loophole, folks. And now when you go to con, you can buy all sorts of fucking. You can buy hammers, shield, swords, fucking full. Like it's.
Anything you want.
Yeah. So like whatever. Cons aren't a place. Man, they're not taking away merchandise from the set from Batman v Superman movie merchandise. You know what
Hmm.
takes away money from official merchandise? Shitty fucking movies. All right, like if you make a shitty movie, then your shitty movie merchandise won't sell. Fan art ain't gonna fucking do it. Now I will say in terms of clothing, what's killing clothing with fan T-shirts, these ones that run for like 24 hours and they sell like 100 each, is the fact that they can be hella creative, right? With
Hmm.
the clothing, like you can get a Lucky Charms for that's Loki Charms, right? You will never get that approved at Marvel. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Marvel will never approve Loki Charms as a shirt. They won't do. I couldn't get them to approve things you can't have Iron Man saying let's have a party, you know,
Right.
because it promotes drinking, you know. Like I'm like guys, he drinks. Like okay, DC and Warner Brothers looser what they tend to buy up fan art, like that guy that does all those little gothy chibis.
Hmm.
Like they've purchased some of his stuff, and those things are in style guides, and there's licensing deals they work out. But Marvel's the no. So slightly different situation. So with this configuration, another thing too is these are all modular, these little cages. So I can lift one of these panels up, and in here I can have books or plushies or future merchandise.
Right.
You know, if I for the future game cave stuff like this, it can come down to one table. So when we have one table, I can move this over. I can only bring one of these little print books, or one or two, and then one of these things go on the right hand side. You
Right.
know, so I just take this down, boom. How quickly did we get everything taken off the table and packed up and ready to go?
5 minutes, if
If
that.
if that.
I was pretty good at packing everything up and getting it out. I mean, you were finishing your final sale, I think, and I was just like, "Yep, yep, yep." And then you turned around, and I was done.
Yeah.
All that was left was the portfolios and the tablecloth.
Yeah. So overall, it went well. Now, some things that didn't go well. Let's talk about what didn't go well because we like to keep it real here at Sketchcraft.
Yay!
Real stupid. So let's talk about some stupid shit that went down. I'll start off with some stuff I did, and then I'll pick on you for about an hour.
All right,
So
this is the part where we disagree.
so um, I believe I have too many turtles prints, and I need more roughy pencils. You know, and I don't have Game Cave yet, so that's a major problem.
Yes.
One of our top selling prints is this little sucker you see here. Who is that, Brandon?
As soon as it catches up to me,
The one on the right hand side with the big red poofy hat.
oh, Game Cave. T-
Bombcat.
shit. Bombcat.
And
It's been
not
a
just
long
because
time
it's
for
got these
us.
little Mario plushies, folks. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I have a Mario print. Doesn't sell much.
No,
No, they
it's
like her.
they like her a lot.
They like the little. Who's this little slime guy? You heard it right.
Oh yeah, they're like, "Who's that mushroom chick?" Because they didn't know her name or anything. They're like, "Who's that mushroom chick with the sword?" I'm like, "Mushroom chick with a sword." I'm like, "Oh shit, Bombcat." And they're like, "What's her name?" And then you told them the story, and like, "Oh, I like that. Let me get one of those." I mean, you probably. I mean, I don't know how many you sold. I think I pushed about 10 of those, 20 of those out. I don't know. They were
It was close to 20 because I printed up like 22 and I only got like
right,
three left. And post, you go, well, 22 prints. That's sets of threes. So I did, you know what I mean? Like that pays
right,
for all. By the way, we made a little bit of profit. It's all been spent on art supplies. So this whole trip washes even. Like
right.
no one took a hit, but no one made money. It's all going back into art supplies.
We did this for you fans.
Yeah,
We basically did. We did it so that it could sublimate. I don't know if I use that
Sublimate?
word.
No.
Yeah, whatever.
Sublimate is what you see here. These banners.
Yeah.
Sublimation.
So we did this. It's been a long day.
English
We
major.
did this con to basically support our, to basically put more money back into our art supplies and future cons, so you can see us again and interact with us, and then to get more art from us. We didn't. Neither one of us are buying new video games or new clothes or books or anything. I walked away the table one time and I just bought two hardcover trades for $10 each. So I spent $20 on myself the whole trip just because
Yeah, but we
I
did take
wanted
a
a book.
loss too. So you had to get your own hotel. I had to get my own hotel because I went with my wife, and this is the one trip that she doesn't want people. We go to Vegas. She doesn't want someone sleeping on my floor. So
Right.
that's a little. That presents a little bit of a problem, you know. So I'm like, fuck. Now Brandon has to get a separate room, so that caused. But between gas, food, hotel, and booth for next year, plus booth for Phoenix, amazing Arizona
Arizona.
Con, and all the art supplies, everything's cleared,
Hmm.
you know. And it took a lot of fucking effort, you
Oh
know.
yeah.
It took a lot of effort. I
I'm still
mean,
tired.
yeah, I'm still feeling it, but I'm getting to work, you know. Like, I can kind of show you all really quickly here. Let's see if I can go to. Well, you can see here. Like, here's one of the commissions. I got some leftover commissions to do. I got these backgrounds. I bought a bunch of inks and stuff, and so it's pretty good. Can't say I met any big time professionals this time, but I did meet a lot of people. Was actually able to put some names, some faces to some names, like Daniel Ramirez. Daniel came down. A lot of people from from years now following, you know,
Right.
the cast and the podcast and everything.
And that's why we like doing the conventions too. People actually get to meet us and talk to us in person and just
Yeah.
tell us what they like and don't like about the cast. I mean, people tell
Someone,
us, "Hey, I like this. I don't like that."
so when someone says, "Hey, are you going to be at this con?" No, I'll be at the Amazing Vegas Con and the Amazing Arizona Con. That's one every
Right.
6 months. That's it. And that one, that Amazing Arizona Con is tentative. Like,
Yes.
I may flip that out for something completely different. So, moving on in the future.
So let's get to the bad shit.
Oh yeah, some other bad shit. Brandon, man, you killed me this time. So you did a lot of good. You know, you don't steal the money, you work. But Brandon, it was funny. So I was prepping for poses, and I was like, hey, you know, thinking about different body types I want to prepare for. I'm like, hey, what are the chances we're gonna get any like big curvy dudes? And you're like, never happens. I'm like, all
Never.
right. I'm like, what about like there was a list of fucking dudes, man. Like I haven't even. You want to talk about this? Like,
There was basically one of the biggest, the one too, yeah, the big fat guy. You're like, hey, is there gonna be big rounded characters? I'm like, I never have anyone ask me for a blob or a big fat creature, and of course, someone second day asked for a big Stay Puft Marshmallow Man,
which
which did not
wasn't
see that coming.
that big a deal, but there's also like other shit, dude. Like you took this Luke Skywalker with Blue Lantern armor. I
This
don't.
guy wanted me to mix Luke Skywalker from A New Hope with Blue Lantern, and he loved it. He liked the way it turned out, but I doubt I would do another commission like that again because it's two total opposite
Yeah, we don't
types. You know,
mash up shit. I don't draw people's original characters, and I don't do mashups.
or caricatures.
I'm not doing My Little Pony as Deadpool. I don't fucking give a shit. You know what I mean? I'm not
Yes,
doing it. There's plenty of artists there that do it, and they like doing it. My
correct.
here's another thing too. If an artist doesn't like drawing something, don't make them do it because they already do that for a living. Like,
Right.
you know, my whole career has been spent drawing shit I could give a fuck. Like, you think I care about fucking Richie Rich? You know what I mean? You think I care about chicks hanging around on stripper poles, dude? Like, you think that
No.
interests me? Like, so, so now it's like I'm only drawing, and then you also took a caricature. This was great. So I told
Yes.
Brandon no more sketches. I don't want anything in. You took this one that was in a book that was like the shittiest paper I've ever seen. It was a Zatanna. It was like super tiny. It was like crinkly, fucking transparent paper. You know, put
They
one marker on.
they were mutual friends.
I get it, and then you have a shitty fucking sketchbook. You know, they only got it because I had what Wonder Woman on the outside or something.
I don't know. I
Yeah, it
didn't,
was like a
they
Wonder
were
Woman.
like, "Hey, can I get a sketch?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course," I mean, we still charge them, friends or
Oh,
not.
and then I don't know if you guys seen this. Let me go back really quick. This is something else. So, because I was
Mm.
overdoing this shit too. See this over here? This is Brandon's Spider-Man sketch cover. I had to go and fix all of his sketch covers because fucking this shit. It looks red here, but trust me when I say he was orange. I don't know how you ended up with that because you have these limited colors, right, with your
Yeah.
Copics. So he was orange and it was fucking ridiculous. So I fixed that. Your Ninja Turtle was all kind of weird colored and shit. So my first night, I was spent. Oh, sucks. I was spent just fixing all your shit up. You know what I mean? Like there's like 4 different covers plus getting those sketches done. And then I was like, hey, no more taking these. We agreed you were going to do 2 commissions based on your speed last con,
Hmm.
and you'd already taken like 6.
Like 4.
6.
Count them.
Sentinel, Stay Puff, Luke Skywalker, Zatanna,
Nope, the
Caricature.
Santana was yours. He didn't want it from me.
You took it. I never talked to me. Did he hand me that book?
You were at the hotel
Okay, so you took the commission, Brandon.
for you.
See, there's always some weird fucking loophole for you. You know, like uh, there was
Anybody who's
This
listening,
Batgirl you were
feel
gonna
free to
do.
comment whether you believe that I took the commission or if I took it for
Yeah,
Rob
so
to
you know
do.
I don't want to draw on books this big. Okay, so now you know. I told you I have 8.5 by 11 or sketch covers. That's what I do. It's a Comic Con. There's only so much time. So my time is based around when you all my preparation is based around a certain size. So I had a guy come up who wanted an 11 by 17, and I'm like, I don't do that here. So I can ship that to you from home because he was a repeat customer. But
Right.
I'm not doing that here. And I'm not bringing 11 by 17 paper just for that one fucking dude who wants some shit that's going to eat up 4 hours of my time. You know? There was that one.
So that's 4.
No, 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 no. Stop it. You're undercutting, right? Marshmallow, Luke Skywalker, fucking Zatanna, fucking Sentinel, uh, plus your Spider-Man sketch cover, plus your
Yeah, but
Raphael sketch
that's
cover.
not taking a
Hold on, I'm already
commission.
telling you what I'm. That's 6. I'm in it for 6 things now with you.
Brandon got a soda. That's a
Hold
commission.
on, no, no, no.
Brandon stood up. That's a commission.
So that's 6 fucking things. So then I go the next day. I'm like, no more commissions for you.
You're
Within an hour, you hand me another book. I'm like, what is this? You're like, but I took this before you told me. And I'm
how
like,
how do you
motherfucker. So
how do
like
you
I
add editing my sketch cover as a commission? That's not a commission. That's just editing.
so you hand me this fucking first I see you fucking around with the Stay Puft and it's horrendous. Oh, here's the thing. And this isn't your fault, but this is something else. If I hang out with IDW again, I'm gonna fucking. I mean, I'm already not working for them, so I'll fucking whatever. But every one of their fucking sketch covers, the inside covers are printed on. So normally on a sketch cover,
And it's super thin.
so I don't mind the super thin. I don't mind that. My problem is that so on a sketch cover, normally you have say an issue of Spider-Man, right? It's a normal comic. Then what they do is they staple on the normal comic this sketch cover material, like a nice piece of paper. So you open it and then you got the actual comic book inside. IDW actually prints their books with fucking blank covers. So when you open it, the inside part has all the credits and artwork and shit on it. Now you're like, Rob, why is that a big deal? Because what if you want to lightboard your fucking thing on the sketch cover? Like your pose, like no offense, but drawing. I get most of these sketch covers are like some asshole with the Sharpie is drawing you something like in 2 seconds. You're paying $800 for it. But smaller artists got to work harder. So you say you really want to do a nice piece of work. Chances are you're not just going to freehand a fucking pose on there. You're going to plan it out a little bit. And when artists say they don't, they just freehand it. No, I've seen a lot of artists. They trick people. Like I've been there. Those stuff that's super photorealistic. They're lining shit up, and it's a whole fucking thing. So you can't actually. And plus, it's technically ruining the comic when it seeps through the other end like that. Like I don't know. It's just their sketch covers are weird. So you hand me this fucking thing. It's a caricature. Now here's the thing, folks. I am not drawing a picture of you as Boba Fett. These guys that do that, I don't know, guys. If you do it, I find that to be one, it's extremely narcissistic, which, okay, we all have our faults. But two, I don't want to draw you. The funniest part is you go, oh, I got a photo of him. I'm like, there's 50 fucking drawings of this guy in here. I know what he looks like.
Well, here's how it went down. The guy came by the day before, and he said, "Hey, I would like a sketch in there." And I'm like, "Well, I just don't have the time. Come back tomorrow." Then in the meantime, I'm slinging prints by myself. You come back. I forget that I told the guy to come back, and then you're like, "Hey, no more commissions." I'm like, "Okay, that's fine." Then he comes back in the morning. I'm slinging prints again. He's like, "Hey, you told me to come back. I have my book. I got it back. Here's my book." And I'm like, "Shit! I told this guy, I promised the guy to come back and
Promised
we would
him.
do it." Hey,
Promised him.
I'm loyal
Well,
to
like,
people. I'm loyal to people.
to
If I
me, there should be a hierarchy on
yes.
loyalty. Your
So when you
wife and family and dog, then Rob. Okay? Then that
all right.
guy. No, I think that guy should at least be one below me. Do you not think? Like, I mean,
I
and
mean,
not
like
just in
you
a
guys are
like,
you guys are kind of neck and neck right now. He knows how to count how many commissions I took. You, on the other hand, elaborate. So he might be even with
I
you.
haven't even finished. You also took a bad girl after that.
No, that
For
bad girl
me, I
was
said
for.
no more commissions.
Yeah, I told the guy. Okay, so after that, you bust that out. Then I tell the guy, "Hey, man, I can't do it." The guy with the bad girl. I said, "I can't do it. I can't do it." He came back. I'm like, "I can't do it. There's 2 hours left in the show. I can't do it." So finally, he comes back at almost 5 minutes left in the show. He's like, "Hey, can we mail it out or something?" I'm like, "We can do that. That's fine." And so you got the info. You have the sketch cover. That's your commission, not
Thank
mine.
you for that. Thank you.
So, and also to go back, you can't count you fixing something on my art as a commission.
Yes, I can.
That's like me saying when
It
I
took
do
the same
flats.
amount of time to
So
fix it as it
that's
did to
like
fucking draw something from
so
scratch.
that's like saying if I did the flats for you, that's a commission,
That's work time, yeah. Actually, yeah, I
right?
do.
So
It's
this
15
is
hours of your fucking time, yeah.
so this is work time. It's not commission.
That's weekend work. We've had this conversation. On the weekends, you're doing that shit. During the week, you're working on actual commissions.
I
You're working on
disagree, sir.
sketchcraft art during the weekend. See, Brandon, I'm consistent. You're inconsistent. And you like to skew things and dodge fucking conversations. The fact of the matter is, I told you no more and you kept handing me shit. But this is funny, folks. So this sketchbook's filled with this guy. And it's got a lot of great art in there because what he's done is he's hit up like Clayton Crane's in there, Ryan
Ryan
Otley's in
Otley.
there, a bunch of people in there. People that all day long are drawing fucking cape, whatever, a bunch of these things. They get bored, right? So when they get bored, they love to be handed things that they've never drawn before, right? So this is fun for them. Well, it's not fucking fun. So, I hate caricatures. I've never gotten one at a convention. I mean, a Disneyland or a carnival. I've had to do it. Like one of my first freelance things, I spent an entire year driving all around to fucking birthday parties and drawing at the Pirates Discovery Zone and the dirt bark the dirt bike rally and in the parks. I hate it, man. And if you fuck them up and you draw them weird and you don't make them look cool enough, they get offended. Or now I gotta like I'm not gonna sit and write. Was it Clayton Crane had this whole like gouache painting? I'm like, get the fuck out of here, dude. Like, because he's got nothing else to do, and he probably got paid $600 or some shit like that. Like I mean, we're not being paid enough to fucking deal with that. And I don't
Right.
care. Like I just don't care. It's weird to me, man. You draw me as there was a picture of him as Buzz Lightyear in there, and I'm like, that's just weird, man. Like I'm not.
I thought it was funny.
I get it. And that's why you get those commissions. You know? That's what I'm trying to tell you, dude. There is this weird thing that I know you don't believe, right?
I
You
think
don't
it's
believe in
because
intention. And intention comes back, bro. Like, I used to have this girlfriend who told me that shit, and I didn't believe. I'm like, it's witchy poo fucking nonsense. It's true. You know how Han Solo said the Jedi, the Sith, it's all real? It's real. Like, you put the shit out there, it comes to you threefold. And it came to you, man. Like, just they kept zeroing in on you with weird shit. You know?
I'm the fun one at the table. You're the sourpuss. So they look at me
Yeah,
and they're
you're the
like they're
one
like
that makes
they look
photos like
they
this, right? What's with
heck yeah.
that? What is with that? That is the worst.
That's my O face.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, excited.
It is so weird. I hate all of it. So,
I hate your grumpy face.
yeah, well, at least I'm being honest.
I'm a happy person. I'm a yin to the yang here.
Fear, Brandon. Fear keeps sketchcraft in line. Okay? Fear keeps things in check. That's why the artwork, I don't accept fucking, oh man, like, oh yeah, that's kind of cool. I mean, that Luke Skywalker one was bad, dude. The dude was happy, but I'm like, I don't ever want to see that again. And if you ever fucking bring that shit up to me, I swear to God, I'll smack it out your hands. I'll throw this shit across the con. Like, I just, I don't have time for that anymore. Like just, and by time, like I'd rather go to Starbucks and get the wrong order. Like and pay for it versus dealing with that nonsense. It's nonsense. Anyhow, it really wasn't that big a deal. The one that killed me was how you gave me your phone to look at the guy and you didn't turn off the fucking phone lock. So I start drawing and it goes to phone lock and I'm like, hey, it went to phone lock. So I figured you turn it off. You just typed in your code. I'm like, all right, so I'll draw and I wait. It goes to phone lock again. I'm like, hey, now you're reaching over
No,
me. Your
yeah,
hand,
so
like guys,
I just got.
imagine you're looking at my face. Like imagine right now you are the drawing table looking at me. Like I'm
You didn't.
drawing, do, and here comes his hand.
I didn't want to take the phone away. So every time
But
the
just
light would
imagine
dim,
it's like two arms wide, like double fisting
I
across the
have
fuck.
I have big hands. So every time the phone would start to go
And it's
dark, I
David
would lean
Raposa's
over.
Raphael just like right in my fucking face because you got that on your forearm, right? So I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. So I would just touch the screen, light it up for you.
I'm
Hey
like,
man,
and I look at you, I'm like, really? And you're
it's
like,
Vegas. It's Vegas. If I lose my phone, I don't. I got my bank in there. Everything. I
yeah,
don't
but
want people
then
getting
you
my
go and
phone.
you're like, dude, I'm working here. I'm like, fuck, motherfucker.
Yeah, I was trying to hurry because you were like, "Give me that shit. Let me do it real quick." So I didn't think like, "Oh, they're gonna lock the phone." I was like, "Oh shit, Rob's having a shit storm over here. I better just fan the flames."
I handed you my phone the day before so you could use it for Square Register for the digital sales. I made sure it had no passcodes on there.
For
You
everyone
know.
listening, Rob sounds happy right now because he's just digging in me. But if you sit next to Rob at a convention, it's like being at the DMV. The person next to you does not want to look at you. The person doesn't want to talk to you. They don't
Yeah,
like you.
I expect professionalism at our table
So
from us.
if anybody thinks they can hang
Sue
and
me.
handle
You
the
know.
Rob rage
I
in
mean, I
person,
figure since
I
I'm
dare you.
generating all the shit to pay for this, the least you can do is type in your fucking password and not take caricature commissions. That's all I'm asking. Don't pinch from the
I'm
register.
one hell of a salesman. People like me when they come up to the table.
I'm not saying they don't. I'm not saying they don't. What I'm saying they probably like you too much. You got to know when to. We don't draw caricatures. We don't draw original characters, and we don't do mashups.
Moving
Period.
forward, it will never happen
Period.
again.
Period. I'd rather draw nothing. That's how I feel about it. So, aside from that, it was actually a really good con. None of the people near us were assholes. Can you believe that?
Right.
This is the probably the first con since since that Mesa con I saw you at in 2010
Hmm.
that I haven't had some weird artist issue come up
Right.
with people that sat next to us. So there were no weird, at least for me, there were no. Now, one of your friends, tell this story about your friend that got stuck in between the.
Oh shit. Okay, so my friend uh, Aubrey, and if anybody wants to check out her stuff on Instagram, it's City Under the Sea, I believe. City Under the Sea. She makes a lot of cute
Let me
like
type this in really quick
uh,
so we can give her a
yeah.
shout out.
Okay. Yeah, she makes pixelated magnets, bow ties, Bioshock necklaces type things, things that incorporate video games and comics into
It's
jewelry
Aubrey
and
Overfield, right?
correct.
All right, so I just want to show people this before you get on
Okay.
to the story. So this is what she's making, right? She's got, jewelry, little pendants, roses, like perler style Fallout figures, like look Link hearts and shit. It's cool,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
It's
It's
all nice little, artsy. I mean, it's Etsy store, right? It's artsy stuff. It's family friendly,
hmm
nice stuff. And she's a nice person.
oh yeah, super nice. Really, yeah. She's a big gamer. She loves video games. So she knows her shit when she came over to talk about the video games, the Mass Effect, and all that. So now you see her stuff. Now to her right, when she's sitting at the table, was one, a guy with a giant wall of prints, which would happen to also be anime slash softcore porn looking things. Basically, imagine a lioness type anime chick with a fur thong and a fur bikini.
Thunk.
That's to her right, and just a lioness girl, kind
Thunk.
of
Right?
legs open
Yeah.
with nothing but a fur bikini.
Like, what's up? You know, like
Just bad. Then you got to her left a man who did more realistic, big paintings of females nude. That sci-fi kind of
straight nude.
big, yeah,
Not
with
risque cheesecake.
no,
Nude.
just nude with maybe I don't know if he had it taped over the parts or maybe it was like when they have like nude, but then like the nipples are like plugs for like matrix like cords type thing, shit like that. That was to the side of her,
Which is
so
fine to be an artist alley, okay?
it's
There's always
fine.
but
It's fine,
she's
but
in between that. Like how are
she's
you
in between it. She's a very nice, friendly, pretty girl woman sitting there with her cute stuff. Kids are coming by, females are coming by wanting to buy it, and as they're standing there, and I saw it firsthand, they look to their left, they look to their right, and they're like,
they cover their kids' faces
and they
and
grab their
run.
kids and they
Yeah.
walk away.
Yeah.
I mean, it just it's a deterrent.
And she only
And
went why?
she went there
Why did she
because
go there?
I suggested that it would be a very good con because there's a very good community for that, and she would
You
have
intervened yet one more time, Brandon. And
uh,
how did it work out for her?
she broke even. She said whether or not I don't know, but I assume she would tell me the truth. She broke even, but she didn't make any extra. So
And she went through a
she
lot of
says
stress.
she
I
won't
think
do
that
it
had to be
next
stressful.
time.
That had to be stressful for her. Right?
Oh yeah, so she's not going to do it next con. That's for sure. She's not going to do it, which is a shame because she has some really cute, great stuff, and she's a great person, and she does well. It just, I don't care what anyone says. If you put a toy store between a liquor store and a gun store, no one's going into that toy store. It's
That's
not going to
true. And
happen.
so what I told her she should have talked to Jimmy J and all those cats about that. And I
Right.
still think you should probably say something if you can on the side just to say, hey,
No, I will. And I should have said something maybe the second day. I just got so overwhelmed with all our stuff that I didn't think, hey, I have to go look out for someone else.
and to
I
be
mean,
fair,
we
she
did.
didn't mention this to me till like right before closing. So it wasn't
Right.
like I was sitting there the whole day going, man, she's fucked over there. Like, you know, like
Right. I
I
mean,
was
I
like,
think
what?
she either told us Friday or Saturday, but I mean, I text her today, and I said, "Hey, sorry, I didn't go say anything. I know the promoter a little bit," and she said it was fine. It wasn't, it's not my place, but I still, I felt
So
bad. Because,
lesson learned, folks. If you are selling, like if you're Sean Galloway and they put you in between, you know, the Reich, remember Reiq, that guy? You know what I
maybe,
mean? The
and then maybe
Reich.
like Sam Keith or
And
something.
Ivy Doom Kitty, you know what I mean? You're probably not in the best spot. You know, like different. They're going after different people. You know, like so. I do think that that's a lesson to be learned. Did they put up locations and who you're next to early, and you just looked
Um,
at it late, or did that not come up till
it
last
had
night?
the names, but it didn't have like bios or anything like
Yeah, I
that.
wish they'd
So,
almost put up websites or some context so you could
well,
look to see what.
I did our homework beforehand. I looked up our stuff, so I knew at least the person to one side of us, free. I know him. We're not like friends or
I'll
anything, but
say this: back in the day, you don't do it now. Now you just buy a table. But back in like 2004, 10 years plus 12 years ago, when I was at Comic Con going to small press alley, you had to submit examples of what you'd have there. And I believe that was not just so one they knew, but two so they could actually group shit together. They don't put the Owly guy next to fucking Adam Hughes's penthouse comics. Like
hmm
not that you can't. I don't. But I'm a total libertarian. Fuck, you can do whatever you want. I don't care what you sell. I don't give a shit. It's just that you want to be fair and not put you want to be fair to the artist. Give them a shot is what I'm trying to
right,
say. You gotta you want to put you know. So I felt bad for her. I think that that's a good lesson learned. If you're in between the wrong kinds of people, it's almost impossible to change it at con once everyone sets up. No one's gonna
hmm
move their shit over.
right,
I would have at least asked to move one over with someone if someone wasn't quite set up. Yeah, I would like,
right,
hey, can we switch tables just because you're gonna be next? If that's possible, I don't know, man. It's really up to the promoters, and they don't really do that, but they
right.
should. So I felt bad for her. So, but aside from that, we didn't have any troubles there.
No.
So, all right, Brandon. Is there anything else I missed? Is there anything you want to bring up?
Now, just that we're back, and a quick shout out to Hector, Johnny, Kyle, Richard Simpson, Garland, and anybody else watching, and all the thumbs up. And you know, it's nice to be back recording, and people tuning in and
Oh,
listening to our
I want to say
bullshit.
Ashley's friends came by.
Oh yeah. I can't remember his name, but they came by. They were really nice.
Yeah. He was the one that went with her to that convention.
The Dallas Expo.
The Dallas Expo, and they were at the Attack on Titan. We did the whole story on it.
Yeah,
There's a
yeah.
Attack on Titan podcast you could see a couple episodes ago. We talked about that, and he came over, and I was like, "So how'd that go?" And he's like, "Matt was weird." So like, because they were talking about cats, he's like, "I don't know what any of this has to do with Attack on Titan." They love the anime, and they were talking about weird memes. The whole
Right.
like he was like he didn't. They were like totally lost. So it's a funny episode to listen to. So he goes there, and it would have been great to see Ashley too. I mean, if she had showed up, I'd have given her a spot at the table, no problem. You know what I mean? She's part of
You would
SketchCraft in a
have
way.
kicked me out.
No, I would have probably just moved you over to the side behind one of those racks. So
Fucking bury my ugly face.
just like the Dr. Claw hand comes out and hands you your prints and takes the money.
Right.
But all went well. We'll be back. We're already prepaid for next year. So no matter what happens, I'll find a way to show up. And I'm currently working on commissions. I'm going to do some digital inks here. We got some Rick and Morty to get to tonight. And that's the foreseeable future. Finishing up these con things. I got about 7 to do total left. So I'm going to take those. And then Rick and Morty's. And I'll be back on Battletoads starting Monday is the goal. So, all right, everybody. That's the update. We'll be back on. I'm going to try to get a gaming cast in tomorrow night. I'll be back on here in about 20-30 minutes to do Rick and Morty. So if you want to hang out there while I do some digital inking, please do. Also, I want to self-promote really quickly here. Really quickly. See if I can go to it. Let's go to the YouTube page. I want to show you all something. Please check this out. I got to do a much better job. Okay. All right. That's not what I'm talking about. I'll come here to my channel. And then let's go right over here. Let me show you. Here, I just made an art tips video. I got to give it a better thumbnail. Easy background colors using Distress Ink. This is a video I made. I'm going to be making more of them. You can see here.
So there'll be a playlist of it?
Yeah, anytime I do a different color scheme, I'll do one. You see here, this is how I'm making these backgrounds now. Right here. Using my own custom stamps and some Distress Ink and stuff. So, it's 14 minutes long. Let me just jump through. So, please check it out. If you have questions about how I'm making this stuff, it's all right there. I'll make more as we go along. So, other than that, let's get back. That's it.
We're back, baby.
Brandon, where can people find you on the internet?
You could find me on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook at LeadHeavy, Lead Heavy. Please go there and tell me how awesome I am and how Rob's super mean to me.
Awesome. As always, you can find me here at sketchcraft.com. Sketchcraftlive.com is the stream, plus Instagram. All the links are below in the info. You can check it out as normal. I will see you all in 30 minutes for some Rick and Morty digital inks. Let's do this. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Brandon should never give out advice to artists that come.